Hi everyone, today we have with us Adarsh. So Adarsh, we want to talk about your story from Kerala to IMT Ghaziabad. So Adarsh have got 96 percentile in CAT and have got a lot of IM calls as well. And around 8-10, if you get the cap round calls, you get almost 10 calls together. So and a couple of more. So 10-12 IM calls and IMT Ghaziabad. So finally you selected IMT Ghaziabad. Yes. Why IMT Ghaziabad?
So it drives ultimately down to the interest that you develop prior your choosing of your MBA journey. So I am an industrial engineer from my background. So industrial engineering is a subject or a field that is much more related to the business part of the engineering itself. And apart from that, I also choose an elective in marketing in my 8th semester of my college. And ultimately, I developed an interest in the marketing. So my choice for choosing an MBA is to develop a career in marketing. So where else to go other than IMT Ghaziabad if you are such passionate about your marketing career. So I drive down my entire decision to a college which is known as a Mecca of marketing. So ultimately choose IMT Ghaziabad.
Great. Also want to talk about the G strategy which I normally say to all these things. You attempted 26 question in CAT paper and got 25 question correct.
Yes sir.
So he is one guy who played mainly on rather doing 100 questions, let's do few and try to focus on accuracy, because that's exactly CAT is. CAT is easy if you want to, if you think that way. So we'll talk about section by section about each of them. You prepared for almost 6 months.
Yeah, my preparation went from June to nearly November, December. So that was my preparation.
When you say that two things, one once you start preparation and one you become serious. So 6 months you were serious or you were serious towards the end?
So nearly for 1.5 months it can be called out on honeymoon period. You have to figure out with respect to how a paper is strategized. So whether it is a 78 like the 2 hour or it is a 3 hour format, and you have to strategize which paper that you are going to target. And once you get a clarity with respect to that, you have to get more serious. So 2 months you can take a leave according to me, and the rest of the 4 months, like 3 months, you have to be much more serious. And towards the end of a month, you have to be mentally a little bit rest, because you should not keep much of your expectations, is what I believe.
Correct. So these 6 months, if I take in your case example, the first 2 months is your doing the basics, understanding the paper, what is there, what is not there. Then next 3 months is your hardcore preparation.
Exactly.
So and last month, thoda drill down, give more mocks, relax. Don't need to worry about jo ho gaya. Abhi now everything will depend on the paper. So good. That's the one. That's how it should be. That's how you, rather than taking a lot of stress about that. So one thing I want to make it clear that a lot of people think that if you're starting late, you can't crack the CAT exam. ऐसा नहीं है. That if you become serious even toward last 2 months.
It's like your 4-month strategy can itself prove worth enough.
Correct.
Like for me, as I said, the initial 2 months was figuring out with respect to how this was my first CAT attempt. So it was to figure out how the paper is all about set it. And it's the next 4 months how you play out that ultimately decides. And it also depends on the D-Day of exam. Like as you said about the number of questions that attempted, it could lead.
Correct. It could get wrong as well. It could go wrong as well. But if you have practiced that much.
So the idea that I did over there was there are certain strong areas that you should identify yourself, and there are weak areas.
Correct.
And if you are acing yourself into the strong area, you can crack it, which is what I did. So wherever was the area that I was critically strong at, I aced all the questions I knew. Like it's the practice is the key master of it.
Correct. So if you talk about the quant section, so you got 97 percentile plus in quant.
Yes, sir.
And using the G strategy, G matlab X. So algebra, the moment you look at algebra is scary word. For non-engineers and everyone is scary. Even for engineers also some of them, because we have studied this thing years ago.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a very scary term. But the moment you apply X ki maro, the way we are talking about X, the put 0, 1. So what is your fund about that 0, 1?
Algebra is not something that anyone, be it an engineer or a non-engineer, should fear it, according to me. Because the people who set the paper itself make the option so obvious that you can put it. Exactly. So what I do it, I take the options and put it back in the answer, and whenever LHS matches the right hand side, so that's how you have to crack any of the algebra questions.
And then 9 question of X. 9 question every in the CAT paper where the word X is there. Where we can use options to solve the question.
So most of it will be there. So it's better, like the questions would have been scattered. So one's preparation has to be in identifying those scattered questions where you are strong at, and putting that into the practice according to me.
Correct. So like this is one of the strategies. So if you can apply 3-4 strategies, and if I am able to solve 2 to 3 questions of each type, and I'm done with this. You attempted 9 questions and 9 correct. All
so
correct.
it was divided into 3 sections. So I was quite well with respect to the speed time part of it. I applied the algebra, and the next thing I was very well equipped was in the graphs. So I attempted 2 to 3 questions in each of it, and that was my strategy, and it worked out. You have to be a little bit confident when you are going to
Correct.
into the D-Day of the exam.
Correct. So of course we can't solve everything. Like algebra, there were 9 questions where X is there, including function graph, all these things. So even if you're able to cross 2-3 questions out of them, you're good. You don't need to do everything.
Will be
exactly.
Yours,
and you need only 5 questions correct. Especially those who are weak in maths, even if you're doing 5 questions correct, you're able to clear the cutoff. Especially in the weak area, you have to just manage the cutoff.
So
right, that's the most important part.
For me, the weak area was the probability. So what I did is I attempted 1 question out of it and left others which I felt difficult. So it's also about not attempting where you are weak.
Superb. Let's talk about the G strategy for the verbal area. So a lot of time, what I normally say, and we have same thing you said to me as well, that we get so much buried in the story RC that we forget the type of questions which are there.
Okay.
And you did ulta. You focused on the type of questions. And then backtrack and then solve the questions.
So usually what happens is there are a couple of questions that any of the RC passages has. It's the common pattern that I observed after my doing of the CAT also. So it could be an inference question, it could be a summary question, or it could be in between both of them also.
Correct.
So instead of focusing on a type of RCs, or it is much better to focus on the type of questions, because you can't master yourself into the different areas. Like it could be political science, it could be science also, anything.
Social science, and whichever, right.
तो नहीं कर सकते हम. So it's always better to focus on the type of the questions, and you have to master yourself in the art of the cracking it. And one thing that people miss out is the verbal ability. So it is VARC. Initially VA comes.
Correct.
So I have to share this part of it. I attempted just 4 questions in RC, and I attempted all the 8 in the VA, and I got all 8 correct in it. And the 4 questions of my RC was distributed in the 4 of the passages. So I did read all the passages, attempted 1 question each, and then entirely went ahead to attempt the VA of it.
So this is a typical example of a low-hanging fruit. Why to go into so much mess? The paper is created to create mess, no doubt about this, if you're trying to solve everything. So it's better to pick up the low-hanging fruits, 1, 2 questions from each RC, and then bang on, you are able to clear the cutoff. CAT is easy.
Exactly. Like it's always better to do that instead of getting stuck in any particular passage, because you might be quite very well versed in a particular type of the question. It's not the RC that leads you, it's the type of the questions. So the key is identifying that instead of focusing on a particular passage.
Because that's a human tendency. That's what the most of the classes teach. Ke ek baar RC pad liya, now solve every question of that RC.
Okay, so I would like to share, once we are into the practice of giving mocks, like mocks is ultimatum for any of the CAT preparation. I say to any of my aspirants who are contacting me on a normal basis that it should be a practice for everyone to read all of the 4 passages. Devote a time of around 7 to 8 minutes for each of the passage, and if it is a 7 to 8 minutes, dead stop. You should not give 1 minute more or even 30 seconds more. And 8 minutes will be given to all the 4, and the rest 8 minutes for 8 of the VA questions. This is what I have to, what I practice.
Correct. So then once you came to IMT Ghaziabad, so what all you did to get one of the very good placements at Britannia?
Yes,
so
sir.
Britannia, the FMCG is one of the most demanding or most hotspot for everyone. So how was the journey?
It started from my internship journey itself. Like I interned at Wipro Consumer Care and Lighting Goods, and there I did not see itself as my internship opportunity. I saw it as an opportunity to delve into a particular sector or where you want to see yourself. So I invested my entire time in strategizing with respect to why this particular project was allotted to me, or I even started thinking why I had to do this. So the why part of it was very critical for me, and mainly the faculties also have a heavy influence on yourself with respect to where you want to go ahead. So the fourth term at IMT Ghaziabad is highly focused towards marketing subjects. It's very heavy on marketing. And there were two faculties that I would like to name. So Mr. Anirban Basu, who is an ex-employee of Nestle, and Mr. Professor Jishnu Shankakoti. So he was in Johnson & Johnson and Zydus. So their way of explaining things was also very critical for me. So in between the phase of after completing my internships to cracking the dream company of mine, I was in regular contact with both of them, which ultimately helped me to crack it.
Correct. And what kind of internship you had, if you don't mind sharing the profile?
So it
बिस्किट खाने को मिला कि नहीं मिला, पहले तो मेरे को ये बताओ. Did you had? Because I interned in Pepsi, so there was unlimited Pepsi, unlimited Lay's, chips, जितने खाने खाओ.
So my internship experience was into a company that was invested itself into the personal care sector. So you would mostly people doesn't give you a branding role like a marketing role or marketing communications. Instead you will be given mostly a sales role. So invest yourself with respect to how the entire sales pattern is distributed around, and you have to be little bit rough on your mind to get on the ground and be open with your mindset how you want to apply the concepts you learned on class to the industry, because these are two different things according to me.
Correct.
So that's what I did. So the kind of profile was basically a sales role, to summarize, and it's in the distribution part. Sales as itself has two parts. It's a sales and distribution management. So I did in the distribution management. So you have to invest little time in getting your basics questions of what you learn in the class and apply it.
And I think distribution is a science because you learn a lot.
Exactly.
यार अभी 10 रुपए का चिप्स का पैकेट सपोज और बिस्किट का पैकेट if I imagine, so it's been manufactured, packed, everyone who have touched have earned from this, and then finally sold for 10 rupees. So everybody is earning out of that. So that distribution marvel itself is the most beautiful thing.
So it's much more than a science according to me.
Correct,
so
correct.
There is a reason why a particular number of distributors are put, why a particular number of salesmen are put. So it's much more of a science. The entire subjects of sales and distribution management is a science according to me.
Correct. Last question is about the cold here. Yeah, I'm from Mumbai. So yesterday I was in air-conditioned office. Right now I'm shivering, wearing 4 layers. This is my 5th layer of clothing. So and you're from Kerala, same thing. So how you manage? Is it what advice would you like to give?
So be prepared to enjoy this weather. That's the single advice.
कुछ कर सकते नहीं, enjoy करो.
कुछ नहीं कर सकते. And it's like you have to move to new places ultimately, and just get adapted to the local culture. Just see how the people around you are dressed up, and it will be difficult. It's not I'm not saying that it's very easy for someone from Kerala or Tamil Nadu to adapt to this, because for us its temperature doesn't go beyond 26.
Correct.
So in Mumbai also I believe it's same thing only. But yes, you have to dress yourself, eat a proper North Indian food. गरम कर लो थोड़ा बॉडी आपका, उसके आगे तो चाय पी लो.
And see, we don't have to roam in the streets all day. You have to be in the classroom is air conditioned. Your rooms are cozy. We have the heaters
we have the provision for getting the heaters.
Heaters also, right? So it's not like we have to be like this all the time. We are outside because of the we heat you in the background. I wanted to cover the campus. So great, yeah. All the best. Yeah, all the best. Nice talking to you.